Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. First, let me give shouts out again to C. Peterson for coming through on the Cash App from the bottom of my black heart and from the depths of my black mind. And also to S. Jock, DN 3001, and M. Maybane for coming through. S. Jock, I also want to give you a shout out for the links that you sent me. And I've been really bad about checking emails lately, but you did send them. You and Senor Kanga have been really good about sending links to me about the news, but especially you when it comes to that. And one that you sent recently was pretty touching. There was something in it about a trafficking victim that was found in the Bronx. And the thing is that I know something about this when it comes down to the to trafficking of minors. And this is a really touchy subject for people. And it should be. It should make people's blood boil. And it does. The issue was that um, there was a private investigator that was on um, Pearl's show. And I don't watch it, but when this private investigator was on there, I knew that there were going to be some gems he was going to drop. And he did. And he said that, and often in many cases, um, those who traffic in minors actually are looking for boys almost as much as girls. But attention is not paid to boys. And runaways also get less attention. So that got my blood to boiling a bit because when there's kids, you should go looking for them. That's not, it's not about whether it's a boy or a girl or about the race of the kid. They're missing and the kids and they're vulnerable. And most people don't really want to do anything that's going to harm them. The percentage of the population that is dangerous to kids is a small percentage, but a child left unprotected will draw them out like boo boo draws flies. The world's not overrun with flies, but if you simply take a dump and just leave it out somewhere, the flies are coming. And it's the same thing. That's one of the reasons why they'll tell you that you shouldn't just drop a deuce out and then just leave it. Because the flies not only go around there, but then they'll turn around and start flying around in other places too. And when you got food outside, the flies are gonna touch that. And it only takes a microbe to make you deathly ill and sick. And it's the same thing with with the vulnerable. The vulnerable um, are not in danger because so many people are just abounding. It's not because the predators are every single where you go. It's because the mere presence of the vulnerable attracts the predators. That's what that's about. Predators follow prey, and they prioritize vulnerable prey. And the other thing too is that predators expect traps. That's the other thing to keep in mind. They're looking for them. Sometimes I've heard people say that they think that there's a supernatural element to some of the predators that they may be going after in the woods that might be hunting their livestock. And maybe there is, but you have to remember that when you set up traps, you got individual personalities of the specimens that hunt them. So you got some that are smart and some that are dumb. Some of them fall for traps, and then you got others that see them fall for traps and say, I'm not falling for that same thing. I saw what happened to him. And then they seem abnormally intelligent to us, and then we started making supernatural claims about them sometimes. That happened with the Lions of Savo, after which that movie Ghost in the Darkness was made. And see, I'm going somewhere with this. S-Jock sent that link, and they got me brainstorming. And I was going to open this up and talk about that anyway, but now something else happened. Shout out to Rome of Average Man Unplugged. He's got a video, and the title of it is Men Who Only Want Biological Children Don't Really Want to Be Fathers. And even though the poster of the video to which Rome refers took down her post of the video, it's already been stitched so many times that we can still see it, and he showed it to us. And I noticed exactly what Rome pointed out, which is that this woman doesn't want kids at all, but she has a problem with men that only want biological kids. But she don't want them at all. So what is the problem here? The problem is that these women, I told you all before, in my last upload even about Deshaun Flood, that they want you to accept that you are supposed to be stepdads. Now, some of you have said, well, why should I go to the Jet Black Air Lounge? And I told you all that, yeah, that's where you go and you subscribe for $5 or you subscribe for $10. And if you subscribe for $10, you're in first class, you get everything, all of it. If you subscribe for $5, you get less, and you should. It's just fair. But one of the things I've said is that I've got a collection of confessions, and the confessions now number 107. I uploaded 2 new ones today, 106 and 107. I find confessions when I'm not busy, and I upload them so that you can see. And sometimes I'll say, well, look, you might not see the confession right off the bat, but let me point out what this particular post means. And I don't usually put up links. I put up screenshots so that when the links no longer go to the post because they removed the post, the screenshot proves they had them. That's why I do it. But 107 of them are up now. Confession, I'm not going to say which one, but one of the confessions says that it's a confession written by a lady named Danielle Cazot. And she said, stepfathers are the men that single moms wouldn't date if they didn't have kids. Now, I'm only telling you about that because I got other confessions that are just as damning. But that's just a taste of why it is that it's worth your while to go in and do a little $10 a month subscription, let alone a $5 one. That's a taste of why it's worth it. That one is considered the Keystone Confession, because that one's pretty damning right there. And it was a lady that wrote it. I got the screenshot to show that it was a lady that wrote that. She took the post down, but the screenshot's still there. Proof. She posted it. That's where the issue comes in. Why do you think I sit up and I tell you it's war? Well, this lady in this video to which Rome referred on his Average Man Unplugged channel sat up and said this dumb hypocritical stuff because it's war. She was in a conversation with a man that wanted to have kids, but he wanted to have his own. And she was not okay with this man being willing to not have kids if he couldn't find the right one and have his own biological kids through them. But if the man said, I'm opening to adapt, not adapt, but adopt really. If I'm opening to adopt the children, then she would have said, wait a minute, what kind of man are you? You're admitting genetic inferiority. What's wrong with you? Even though she don't want kids at all. She don't want to be a bio mom or a stepmom, but she gonna look at this man because he doesn't want to be a stepdad. It's war. It's not even about what they want a lot of times. It's really just about whatever the hell you don't want. So whatever you say you don't want, they got a problem with. And they want to turn around and tell you that you should want that. And that is something that comes with being, it damn near comes with being a black woman. Because this mindset is spreading throughout the continent too. It's already spread through much of the Anglosphere of the Americas. And quiet as it's kept, some of them had that attitude in Colombia. They're saying that some of the African Colombian women got the same problem, same mindset, and the black Brazilian women got the same mindset. So some of these areas are lost. That's why you got a red pill community in Brazil. The same women that are spoiling non-Brazilian men are teaching Brazilian men to be red pill. And some of those women don't want you if you're foreign because you don't know Brazil like that and they ain't cheap like that, and that's fine. But then they still are hell on wheels to a Brazilian man too. I want someone that speaks Portuguese and lives here. Okay, fine. Well, you got a nation full of guys like that. Oh no, I'm treating them bad too. Damn. And if you even look at what happened in Sasua, to the point that men are now calling it such a sewer instead of Sasua, giving it the nickname so sewer or such a sewer. Part of the ruination of the place is not just in the proliferation of the passport pookies that aren't really passport bros that go there, according to passport bros' own definitions. But it is also the fact that the ladies there have decided to react to the proliferation of the passport pookies by saying themselves, well, we're not going to offer any better deals than what the women in the States do. The way those women in the States treat you, they use you, they undervalue you, and because they sell box, they look at men as being trash. We're going to be the same way. We're going to look at men as being trash because we sell box. The only guys that come to us are the ones that are willing to pay for it, and we see them as trash anyway, so we're going to view you like that. We know that the Yankees don't treat you well, so we're not going to treat you well. They use you, so we're going to use you, and that's it. And that's all there is to it. And the politeness that they have that the Yankees didn't have, that's disappearing, and the guys are saying that. And they're saying, nope, we're going to demand the same new iPhones in exchange for nothing, just like that Yankee woman. Nope, you're going to buy us a BBL in exchange for nothing or very little, just like that Yankee woman. That's what they're going to do. It's in their adaptation and their reaction. And that reaction is something that they're getting from these women that are at war with you and me. And whatever the hell we want, they don't. You don't want kids, they want them. That woman doesn't want kids because men want them. Let the man had told her that he did not want kids, and she doesn't want kids. She would have been like, well, what if I want kids then? What's the reason? Because as I told you, they're at war. And when you're at war with somebody, it's not always about what is in your interest. It's also about what's against theirs. And if your war is motivated by nothing other than hatred, more than you love yourself, you will hurt them before you would even help yourself. And that's what they want to do to you. Everything you want, they don't. That's why. That's what I keep trying to get you guys to understand. All of this is motivated by hatred. This is not just about their own interest. As they grow older, it becomes about nothing other than, because if you think about it, if they passed up the window for their own interest based on dumb and bad advice they got, you would at least think, okay, well, they'll get what they can of their own interest and trade for it. No, they're like, no, whatever you want, I don't want. How do you know? They want young guys to go after older women. I'm a milfophile. I've been one since I was young. You think they appreciated that? No, they did not. They absolutely did not appreciate that. Not at all. And they don't appreciate it even now. I take issue with that. They got problems with that. Like I did something wrong even though I didn't. It turns out that now they're saying, well, I want, while I'm old, I want the younger dude. Well, there are guys that are into that. I think it's hereditary, but there are dudes that are into that. But they don't appreciate those guys. What happens when they find a guy that actually does like that, that's fine with that? They go back to acting like the young chicks, just as immature. I mentioned this before because it's war. So you want kids, they want an abortion. You want an abortion, they want to keep the kids. You want biological kids, they want you to be a stepdad. The problem is that if you wanted to be a stepdad, they would look and see what is the advantage for you in that. And then they would demand that that advantage be removed. And how do you know? They've already done it. You become a stepdad by marriage for long enough, you're still on the hook for child support. So that means if it doesn't work out, since the kids ain't yours, you could conceivably let them go. I mean, you might bond with the kids, but she can't force the kids into your pockets. That's what it was at one point. Now they're just like, no, he's the only dad they've ever known. And I don't want him no more. So I want my kids by another man to be in his pockets. And that's the end of that. In certain states, they got that set up. So now that's why it is that even if you now want to be a stepdad, they've made sure that, okay, well, we're going to make sure that whatever advantage there is to that is removed. Okay, now you can be a stepdad too if you want to. There has to be something you don't want. And that's one of the reasons why it is that Westernicians always test their men, and they most harshly test the men of their own cultural backgrounds. Karen, Becky, and Amber test Brad all the time. When they find Alpha Chad, they still try to turn Alpha Chad into a beta. And if they succeed, they leave him. But if they don't, they just keep testing and testing and testing. They don't stop. Now, they may stop if they get them a brother, but brothers always tested by Keisha. Bone Chica, Bone, Quisha, and Sapphire. They keep testing, they don't stop. And Enrique is always tested by Maria. And well, Ling Ling, as y'all call her, she don't even test Lee. She just mistreats him and tells him, look, you go sit in the corner and watch me get dug out by this white guy. And if you marry me and commit to me, then you're going to watch me get dug out by this black guy when I'm finally curious enough, when I've gotten the validation I want from the white guys. But if you cheat on me with a white chick, I'll be mortified because you weren't supposed to be able to do that. And if you really think that those men got it bad, guess what? The Indian men who grow up in the West they're probably the most insulted by women, period. Because the only women that don't really insult them like that back to back are sisters. And sometimes sisters do. But all the other ones do. Absolutely. I feel bad for them. Kind of. Then I remember how anti-black they can be. But I mean, their women are set up and said, in Western, white countries, their women have actually set up and said, what you need to do is have fun in your 20s dating these white guys. But they're not going to commit, so then you can go back in your 30s and 40s to the Indian men. They said this, and I saw the screenshot of that too. I don't remember if I posted that in the confessions or not. I don't think I was able to get the screenshot to do it. But yeah, it's war. That's why I told you off when I said in my last upload about Deshaun Flood, the whole point of it is war. And this woman, what she said was an example of that. So why am I telling you this? Well, because see, a lot of you brothers think And we're raised to think that there's a right one out there and we just have to not screw it up. And we go looking for the right ones because that's how we're trained. And we get into conversations with different women trying to find the right one. And we think that we keep missing the right one. No, they're all trained to be the wrong one. See, if they are trained to want what you don't want, to always go against you, none of them are the right ones. The good ones are not all going to be the right one for you, but the good ones, well, they're in hiding anyway. So this is why it is that the right thing for you to do as men is to stop making approaches and tell other men, don't make approaches. Why is that? One of the reasons you have a hard time finding women that would agree with you about anything is, especially the important things, is not because they have different wants and needs than you only. That's not the only reason. It is also because they are trained to disagree with you. And they're doing it. And since that's the culture and the training, even on the subconscious level, that means that the market's jacked up, the culture's jacked up. Stop trying to win their approval in this. You want kids, they're going to not want them. That's when they want an abortion. You want an abortion, they want kids. That's just one symptom of it. You want to go and spend time? They don't. They want to stay home. Or they only want to go spend time doing things that are expensive and cost a lot of money. That's it. It's whatever you don't want that they start wanting. Things that they're willing to do for themselves, if they can afford it, are no longer good enough when you do these things for them. Because that's all you can afford. They'll go eat at the Cheesecake Factory as long as you don't take them there. They'll go eat at Olive Garden or Applebee's as long as you don't take them there. That's the whole point. And that's how they're trained. And the worst ones of them are the ones that have managed to convince the better ones of them to never shoot their shots at you. So you shouldn't be shooting your shots. That's the reason why it is that the ones that shoot their shots at you are usually they're on the prowl. It's because they're the only ones that don't get jumped by other women for doing it, because they're bragging to these other women about using you. A good woman that they know is not going to use you is the one whose ass they will kick for shooting a shot at you if she's cute. Because they know they can't compete. And the good women have fallen for the psych game, hook, line, and sinker. I'm too good to compete. No. You were too good to not compete. You were too good to give up as easily as you did. You got psyched out. That's why they think hoes are winning. No, it's because the hoes tricked them into sitting on the sidelines. And the hoes are the ones out there that are willing to do something to try to get your attention and give you choosing signals. It's war. Whatever you don't like is what they make available for you. And you're sitting up here trying to impress the right one. Bruh, the right one done already the right one has already taken the wrong advice from the wrong ones and not competed. And that's why she's no longer right. And that's why they're saying these dumb things that they're saying when they're not making up the conversations in the first place. They're reinforcing the training to each other. Do not offer these men what they want, and demand from them not only what you want, but what you know they don't want to give, and nothing else. Now, if that's not war, what the hell is? I told you. First, what they want is for you to be a stepdad, and then they want you to accept raising other men's kids. That's what they're looking for. And that's what this lady just showed. The day after I told you this lady is shown to us by Rome, shout out to him, to be trying to get men to accept exactly that. And this broad don't even want kids. She just wants you to accept that you don't deserve your own. I hope this helps and sheds light on the subject for you. And shout out to Compassionate and Callous for clipping my last upload. Feel free to clip as often as you want from that one and this one too, because I hope this helps. Stop making approaches, gentlemen, in the West. And don't let anybody talk you into that. And go and talk other men into not making approaches in the West for that very reason. Thanks for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, black, heterosexual, non-select, male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction of Judgment Day. Thanks for flying with us again here on Jet Black Air, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off this mother cuss word. Gender justice forever.